Hey James, you back off night shift yet? I saw your clothes in the washing machine.
Yep, I stopped by at the house to get changed a little while ago. I went straight back to work, though. Morning, babe.
Good morning, sweetie. Sorry, I must have been asleep when you got back.
No kidding, you were out like a light.
Henry was crying non-stop throughout the night. I felt like I was getting up every 5 minutes to calm him down. When I finally did get off to sleep, it was already morning.
Sounds like you've been through the mill. I suspected it might have been a rough one for you. That's why I didn't wake you up.
The house is an absolute pigsty, too. Sorry, sweetie, I'll get everything tidied up as soon as I can. Are you hungry? Did you have anything to eat while you were home?
Oh, I had some cup noodles at the office before I came back.
Sorry I didn't have anything ready for you to eat.
Don't sweat it. I'll just grab something from the store on my break. It's no big deal.
If you rushed straight back out to the office after changing clothes, does that mean you still have work left to do?
Yep. I have a bunch of menial computer stuff still left to take care of. You keep hearing all this stuff about how AI is going to steal our jobs. But I wish I'd hurry up and take this crap off my hands. I'm swamped.
Sounds like you're having a tough time of it, too. Is this a busy time of year for you?
It's less the time of year and more that we're short-staffed right now. 2 of the girls have been away on maternity leave for months now. And Dave fell off a ladder while doing some DIY at his house last week. To make matters worse, we've had 3 resignations in the last month alone. We're stretched to a breaking point.
Are you at least taking enough breaks, or at least fitting naps in every now and then? You're more likely to get into a car accident when you're sleep-deprived, you know. I'm worried about you, sweetie.
It's fine. I still manage to squeeze in a cheeky nap here and there, and I take breaks when I can. The boss said I can have 2 hours to myself to catch up on my sleep at 2 p.m. today, since I stayed up all night at the office last night.
I'm pleased to hear that. But still, 2 hours isn't a lot of sleep after you just stayed up all night. You must be shattered.
Oh, you're right. I could probably use more. But you're hardly sleeping like a princess yourself. Did you even get 2 hours last night?
You do have a point. But still, I'm at home all the time, so I'm fortunate enough to be able to squeeze in a nap whenever Henry dozes off during the day.
That reminds me, have you been able to feed him properly lately? I remember you told me your milkers weren't producing the goods. You went for a massage to try and get things moving again before, right?
Everything seems to be back to normal now. We actually have a lot of milk left over in those bottles in the fridge. I've been gradually moving him onto baby food lately.
Oh, really? I can't believe how fast he's growing up. I barely get to see him all these days. It's kind of eating away at me. I can't help but feel like I'm missing out on his childhood, what with pretty much living at the office. Does he even know I'm his dad anymore?
Of course he does, silly. He always has a big beaming smile on his face whenever you come home.
I hope he's not just doing it out of politeness.
You must be joking, right? He's not even old enough to understand the concept of politeness yet. You're an amazing dad, James. It really means a lot to me that you're thinking of us despite being so busy with work.
You guys are the reason I do it, babe. I'd never be able to endure these ridiculous working hours if not for you two. You give me the strength to carry on.
Thank you, honey. Having you and Henry around helps me power through when times are tough, too.
Sorry I'm not there to help out with things around the house. I know dads are normally supposed to help out with babies and housework and things like that.
It's okay, sweetie. I understand. Your work situation is making that pretty much impossible right now. I'm not gonna lie, though. I might struggle to keep on top of everything if things at work seem like they're gonna carry on like this for a long time. Do you think things might get better soon? If they don't, would you consider finding a new job?
I hate to say it, but there's no end in sight. To be honest with you, babe, I've already been thinking about it. Family time is important to me, and if I carry on not being able to see you guys because they keep making me spend virtually all my waking hours there, I'm going to start questioning why I'm even working for them in the first place. Thanks for everything that you do, Daisy. I really appreciate you. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, James. Hey, James, roughly when do you think you'll be done at the office today? I was hoping you could pick up some sports drinks and vitamins from the store on your way home.
Sorry, it's gonna be a while longer yet. I was supposed to be here till 7 p.m. But Reggie from sales called in sick and now I've got to do his night shift. Holy crap. I'm gonna be working for 20 hours straight.
Wow.
Did something happen? Do you feel sick again?
I have a fever again. I think I caught a cold from Henry. He was sniffling and sneezing something chronic for all of last week, remember? It was only a matter of time before I got something.
Ah, damn it. What's your temperature? Did you take it?
It's 38.8 degrees right now.
Wow, that's really high. Do you have chills? Does your fever seem like it's gonna get worse?
I have a feeling it will. I've got a pounding headache and I feel like I could spew up at any minute. I was planning on asking you to watch Henry while I got some sleep after you got home, but it doesn't sound like you're going to be in any position to do that.
I'm so sorry, babe. It really doesn't look like I'm going to be able to break away from this place anytime soon. Can you hold out until tomorrow morning?
Don't worry, I think I can just about power through till then if I really try my hardest. But even still, surely you'll be exhausted when you get home from your night shift. You'll probably be ready for bed yourself.
But you're suffering, babe.
You hardly have it easy yourself either, James. A 20-hour shift? I mean, Jesus Christ. What kind of company do you work for? How can I complain about a cold when you're working so hard for me and Henry?
You're the best wife a guy could ever hope to have, Daisy. I'll be home as soon as I possibly can. I'm sorry I'm working so many hours lately. I feel awful.
It's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. It can't be helped. I'll get through this. You just watch me. Henry's diapers need changing whether I've got a cold or not, so there's nothing else for it but to grit my teeth and power on. There's no denying it. Things are tough for us both right now, but I know we can get through this if we work together. What do you say? Shall we show the world what we're made of?
Yeah, that's the spirit. I'll be home with your sports drinks and vitamins as soon as I get off the night shift. If there's anything else you want me to get, just let me know.
Daisy, how long do you intend on forcing me to wait? Do you know what time it is? Is that Kylie? You're James's sister, right? How come you're messaging me out of the blue? A long time no see. Can I help you with something? You can't be serious. Stop screwing around and come and pick up your kid already. I have work first thing tomorrow. I never agreed to have him until this time, and it's rude of you to assume I would without even saying anything. You have Henry? What? But Henry's asleep here with me. What are you talking about? How can that be? If Henry's with you, then whose kid am I watching? I'll be honest with you, Kylie. I don't have a clue what's going on here. Henry's most definitely here with me. So what's going on? Are you babysitting right now? Yes, I'm watching a little boy James dropped off at my place this morning. He asked me to watch him because he said you and him have plans as a couple today. To be honest, I wasn't super eager about the idea, but he told me you guys have barely had any time to yourselves lately, and it sounded like you could use a break. But then James never came to collect him when he said he would. I tried calling him countless times, but he didn't answer, which is why I'm messaging you now. Oh, I remember now. We exchanged contacts a couple of years back, didn't we? I totally forgot because we never message each other. Forget that. I'm asking you, what's going on with this little boy asleep on my sofa? I'm sorry, Kylie, but I don't know what to tell you. Henry's been here at home with me all day. James went to work first thing this morning. He never said anything about going to your place, and we had no plans together today. Oh, wait, what? Whose kid is this then? Whose son have I been looking after all day? Did James really drop him off at your place this morning? Yep, he messaged me out of the blue last night asking if I'd have him today. He never messages me, so that was a surprise in and of itself. Now that you mention it, he did say you and him don't speak that much. Yes, and that was an intentional decision on my part. Really? Do you mind if I ask why? Did something happen between you and James? I'm the kind of person who struggles to say no when people ask me for favors. So me and James having any kind of relationship was never gonna work. I got sick of the way he always used to ask me to do things for him. One day it'd be picking up a parcel, the next his suit from the dry cleaners. Sometimes he'd even have me do his grocery shopping. Eventually, I reached my wit's end and told him enough was enough. I told him I wasn't gonna let him treat me like his errand girl any longer, and we've barely spoken since. Wow, I had no idea. But seriously, whose kid is this? I could have sworn James said it was your Henry. Did I mishear him? Could it be one of his friends' kids? I'm really not sure. The idea of him leaving one of his friends' kids with his estranged sister strikes me as a little odd. Yeah, you can say that again. It's even weirder that he left whoever's kid this is at your place without so much as a word about it to me. No way. Did James have a baby with someone else behind my back? I really couldn't say. I feel weird even saying it. Surely that's ridiculous, right? Of course it is. There's no way he'd ever do that. I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for this. I don't know, Daisy. I hate to say this, but now that you mention it, maybe that is the most likely explanation for what's going on here. Or rather, it's literally all I can think of. You really think so? One thing's for sure, if that's what's going on, I'll kill him. God damn him. Why does my brother have to be such an asshole? You know what else? He's almost never at home lately. He said it was because things are tough at work, but I'm starting to see it in a different light now. Do you think he really is at work? He's always telling me about how overstretched they are at the office these days, what with things like people going off on maternity leave or calling in sick, and him being left to pick up the pieces. I believed him before because I didn't think I had any reason to doubt him, but now I'm not so sure. I've had my hands so full with looking after Henry and keeping everything at home in order that I've barely even had time to think. If he really does have a kid with someone else, that obviously means he's been cheating on me. I don't think it's out of the question. I got cheated on by an ex-boyfriend once. He gave me the same pack of lies, overtime this, project deadlines that. All the while, he was out on dates with some floozy behind my back. But still, I can't believe this is happening. James is so kind. He always seems to be thinking of me, and he always says the nicest, most thoughtful things. Talk is cheap, Daisy. What is he actually doing? Does he help out around the house or with Henry? No, not at all. But I figured he couldn't help it because things are so hectic for him at work. But that only applies if things really are hectic at work. What's the truth, I wonder? Do you think there's a chance he might just be saying all these nice things to trick you? You know, like keep you sweet so you don't start getting suspicious and questioning his near total absence from your lives? Trick me? Think about it. If he plays the model husband and unfortunate victim of work over text messages, you're less likely to start wondering what he's actually up to when he spends all this time away from the house. If you look at it in terms of what he's actually doing or how much time he actually spends with you, it sounds like it's next to nothing, right? You're right. Actually, listen to this one. So this was last week. I came down with a fever and didn't have the energy to look after Henry like I normally do. James couldn't make it home. But I convinced myself it couldn't be helped because it's not like it was his choice to be at work, and I was sure he'd come home and take over while I rested up if he could. That must have been really difficult for you. The thought of him lying about that is just... Oh my God, that means he'd rather spend time with his lover than look after me while I'm sick? If this is really what's going on, I'll never forgive him. And so you shouldn't. When's he supposed to be getting back tonight? He said he's on the late shift. He said he'd be home sometime after midnight. I see. Daisy, we've got some investigating to do. We're gonna get to the bottom of what's going on with this kid on my sofa, and while we're at it, let's find out if he really is spending all his time at work. James, when are you coming to collect your son? It's 10 p.m. already.
I'll be over at 1 a.m. the latest. Sorry, Kylie, I had no idea we'd be out this late.
Fine, I'm waiting.
I'll be over as soon as I can.
All right. I must say, James, your little boy is so cute, but I can't put my finger on who he looks like. Come to think of it, I'm not so sure he looks like either you or his mom.
Oh, really? You're not? I think he has Daisy's eyes and my nose. Wouldn't you say so? I'm sure he'll start to look more like us when he gets bigger.
You think? It's hard for me to imagine him looking anything like either of you.
Geez, Kylie, he's still just a baby. Give it time. That's just how they are at that age.
You and Daisy are both really good looking, so whoever he ends up taking after, I'm sure he'll be a hit with the ladies. I'm amazed at how well defined and striking his facial features are despite him being so young.
Right? He was always going to be handsome with me and Daisy as his parents.
But is he really your son? I find it hard to believe.
Huh? Of course he's ours. What are you even saying? Wait, are you accusing me of something?
It's only natural your sister would have her doubts, James. Henry's been at home with me all day after all. So go on, let's hear it. Whose kid did you leave with Kylie?
Huh? Who's this?
It's Daisy. Hi.
Are you using my sister's phone? Why would you two be together?
Your sister messaged me, so I went over to her place. Well, who does the kid belong to?
No. Please don't get the wrong idea here, babe. I had my reasons for what I did, I swear.
That doesn't answer my question. You told Kylie the little boy she was watching was our son, Henry, didn't you? You lied. Before you start speaking, I need to make it clear that I'll flip out if you try feeding me any bullshit about him being your friend's son.
No, I'm serious, Daisy. I had my reasons. I'm dealing with a few circumstances right now.
I'll just come straight out with it. You had a kid with another woman behind my back, didn't you?
Oh my God, what? Have you lost your mind? No way!
I see. I guess you won't mind if we do a DNA test then? I hate to accuse you of something like that, but it's the only explanation that makes any sense to me right now. If I'm wrong, then give me an explanation I can believe. I shouldn't have to say this, but you'll be making a big mistake if you lie to me now. I suggest you think very carefully about what you say next.
You're right.
Excuse me?
That kid, he's my son from another woman.
I knew it.
But make no mistake, baby, you're the only one I love. You're the apple of my eye, you and only you. I never meant to get my lover pregnant.
So what if you didn't mean to? You done goofed the moment you cheated on me. I'll never be able to forgive you for this.
Please, listen to me, baby. I knew what I did was wrong. But he's still my son, and I still love him. What was I supposed to do? Abandon him? There's no way I could do that.
I get it, James. You wanted to have your cake and eat it too. Anyway, why did you dump your love child on your sister?
His mom got hospitalized with pneumonia. She was supposed to be leaving him with one of her friends. But she couldn't have him for the whole day. I didn't know what to do, and it was an emergency, so I figured dropping him off at Kylie's was my last option.
I get it. I bet you thought Kylie would have no way of finding out the truth because you and her were estranged, and me and her haven't spoken in years. You really didn't think this through, did you?
Look, I'm so sorry, baby. Please forgive me.
If you're genuinely sorry, I want an honest answer. If I find out you lied to me afterwards, we are absolutely 100% getting a divorce.
Fine, I will. I can be honest. Let me show you. Go on, I'm ready.
You've barely been home at all lately. Were you out meeting your lover all this time?
Yes. I used to stop off at her place on the way back to work.
That's funny. If what you were saying was true, you shouldn't have had any time to go and see her. All those days you spent working without breaks, all those early shifts that turned into evenings, that turned into nights. I can only conclude you were lying about being at work to go and see your lover. Am I right?
Yes.
I know. Why don't you phone your boss and ask him to send you the rota? Then you can show me exactly when you were working and exactly when you were out spending time with her.
I'm not sure I can do that, babe.
Why not?
Well, you see, the thing is, I don't work there anymore.
Excuse me?
I changed jobs just over a year ago. I don't work lates or nights anymore.
Wow. Which can only mean you were out with your lover last week when I was ill. You said you were working the night shift. You lied, didn't you?
Yes.
Do you have any idea how much I struggled with looking after Henry that night? My head was pounding like I'd been 10 rounds with Mike Tyson, and I must have thrown up at least 5 times. I was up and down like a yo-yo, calming Henry down whenever he cried, feeling like I was about to pass out at any moment.
There's no excuse for what I did, babe, and I won't try to make any. You should have never had to go through that. It's just that me and my girlfriend had been planning on going to Disney World on that day for a long time. I wanted to cancel when I found out you were ill, but knew that she'd be furious with me if I did.
Wow. So not upsetting your lover over a freaking Disney World trip is more important to you than my health? You're a despicable scumbag and I wish we never met. I can't take this anymore. Me and you are finished.
Please, baby, I swear, I'll never do anything like this again. I'm begging you to find it in your heart to forgive me.
I'd have to be the biggest moron on the planet to trust a lowlife like you again. Hell, I feel like the biggest moron on the planet for trusting you in the first place. You had me totally fooled with your sweet talk, didn't you, you manipulative asshole?
I wasn't lying when I said that I loved you, Daisy.
That's enough. I've heard enough. I'll never believe another word that comes out of your mouth. If anything, I just get more and more pissed off every time you speak. James, it's Kylie. I think it's about time you gave up. You're only driving her further away if you keep trying to stop her like this.
Kylie, how did things end up like this? This was never supposed to happen.
Things ended up like this because you're a disgraceful, shameless liar. You deserve everything that's coming to you. Anyway, we all know that stuff about being swamped with work was a lie. Which should mean you're available now, right? Come and pick up your lover's kid already.
Wait, what about Daisy? Did she say anything about what she's gonna do next?
Her and Henry will be staying over at my place tonight, but she made it very clear she doesn't want to see your face. I'll hand over your bastard child at the doorstep, and then you can go home immediately. I'll be telling Mom and Dad about everything you did.
Wait a sec, Kylie. Does this mean Daisy's gonna divorce me? Is she serious about going through with it?
She says she'll be going to stay with her parents for the time being. If you want to talk to her, she said you'll have to drive out to her parents' place.
Her parents' place?
There's a good chance her mom and dad will beat the living daylights out of you, but if you're serious about her, you'll just have to face the music like a man. You've been rotten to that poor girl, and I'm ashamed to call you my brother.
No, this can't be happening. Daisy and Henry are my world, my everything. I can't bear the thought of losing them.
How could you mean that? If they were really your everything, you wouldn't have lied to her for God knows how long while she struggled to run a household and raise your son all on her own while you were out with your lover. None of us will ever be able to believe another word you say. Oh, it looks like Daisy wants to speak to you again. I'm passing over the phone now.
Daisy? Daisy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I mean it, baby. I feel awful.
Actions speak louder than words, James. If you're genuinely sorry, then prove it.
I will. Of course I will. I'll do anything. Just say the word. Please, just forgive me, baby. I'm begging you here.
Just say the word? Okay. I do have a few words for you, actually. Child support and compensation. If you're sorry, you'll pay up every last cent of what I ask for.
Child support? Oh my God. You're serious, aren't you? I didn't think you'd actually go through with the divorce.
Then you're as delusional as you are shameless. Just because we're finished doesn't mean you get to escape responsibility for our son. You helped bring a life into the world, and you will fulfill your role as his dad, even if just financially. You'll be working to pay child support until he's an adult. You lied to me about having to do overtime for so long, but you're gonna need to do some for real with how much money you're about to owe me. After that, I swiftly divorced James and received a hefty sum in compensation. Me and Henry are currently living with my mom and dad at their place, and the four of us are having a great time together. James desperately begged me to take him back for a little while after the events of today's episode. To my surprise, it seems like he was genuinely broken up about the divorce. And he pestered me for months and months on end until he finally realized his struggling was in vain. Something tells me both sets of parents, as well as his sister, flipping out at him might also have had something to do with him finally taking the hint. Eventually, the woman he had a son with behind my back stopped responding to his messages. As things stand, he hasn't heard from her or seen his son in months. I heard it was because she wasn't happy about the way he was desperately begging me to take him back. I guess he must have been sweet-talking her into trusting him the whole time, just like he did with me. I'm pleased she finally realized what a scumbag he is. I got a message from Kylie a few days ago telling me she woke up to 57 missed calls and 97 messages from James, telling her how alone and isolated he feels after being disowned by his entire family. Sounds like he finally reached breaking point. Sorry, asshole, but what goes around comes around. It probably goes without saying, but this is the fate that awaits anyone who lies, cheats, and deceives their way through life.